This is Spooky University episode 4, Surviving Your First Night in a Dorm. Your first night away is always the worst one. For a lot of people staying in dorms, it's their first time. Their first time away from home, their first time alone in a new setting, their first time surrounded by, people that they didn't go to high school with for the last 4 years. It's a very new situation. And it can be very scary and very overwhelming. And yeah, you're probably going to want to call mom and demand she come pick you up, if that's an option for you. Either way, the first night is going to be rough, and you're going to want to go home, and you're going to want to cry, and you want to curl up in a ball and, tell yourself you want to sink into the floor and stop existing because life is so horrible. I've been there, and I think it happens for everyone. It's a very scary experience. So, how do you survive your first night in a dorm relatively intact? Well, I can offer a couple different pieces of advice. Last year was my first year staying in a dorm, and it was, even for me being in my 20s, it was a very, very new experience, and I really wasn't sure how to deal with it. I'd say the most basic thing you can do is make your room as comfortable as possible. Whether that's, like having your favorite pillows, putting a rug on the floor from home, unpacking all your stuff to make the place feel lived in. Bring a stuffed animal or a doll or a favorite toy or blanket from home. Just little comforts like that make the room feel more like you're not in a padded cell. Because the more foreign the place is, the more frightening it'll be and the more uncomfortable it will be to try to sleep in. So make sure you bring as many comforts from home as possible. If there's a certain type of tea that you drink, or if you have a particular favorite snack food, make sure to have it on hand for the first night, because the little things do matter. If it's your first night ever staying away from home, you are going to be lonely, you are going to be scared, and you will want to cry and call home. And it's okay. It's okay to do these things. It's okay to cry and to get all that emotional stress out of your system. It's a long day. You've been moving your stuff in. There's a ton of stuff on campus you have to see and do when, you're dealing with all these people and all this mayhem. It is overwhelming. It really is. So, if you need to sit down and have a good cry sometime before you go to bed, do it. You'll feel much better for it. I mean it. If you feel anxious or unsure and you want to call somebody from home and talk about it, do that. It helps to talk about it. It helps to share those feelings and to get some, reassuring feedback from the people in your life that are closest to you. Even something as simple as saying, Mom, maybe this was a bad idea. Maybe I'm not ready to be out on my own. Maybe I'm not ready for university or college. Just to have her say, no, you're ready. The first few nights will be tough. Just hang in there, because it'll get easier once you figure out what you're going to do. It's well-meaning advice, and it's true. So take it to heart. If you can survive your first night, it's so much easier. If you have a roommate who's kind of in the same situation, it's really good to be able to talk to them and kind of share your fears and your feelings, because knowing that somebody else is in the same boat as you can be really, really helpful. Like last year for me, I was, like I said, in my early 20s, and my roommate was an exchange student from Malaysia who was also in her 20s. So we were kind of similar, and, we kind of had, a similar experience, being both older and kind of from different backgrounds, being together on a floor of, a bunch of blonde, dippy 18-year-olds. So it's like if we'd been on our own and paired up with one of those 18-year-olds, we probably would have been very uncomfortable. So the fact that we had something in common to bond over like that was really important. And it was good to talk about it, because it makes you feel more comfortable. So if your roommate is in a similar situation, talk about your feelings, talk about what you're going through together, because it'll help to have someone, that you can count on, that understands. It's good. If you're like me this year, I have my own room because I'm in a dorm-style apartment. It can be really lonely your first night. Really, really, really lonely. So, like I suggested for the regular dorm, unpack all your stuff, make your room comfortable, you know, like have my own bathrooms, you know, take a shower, you know, take a bath, be comfortable, make yourself tea or coffee, have a soda, eat your snacks, watch a movie or something before bed. Something that can pretty much carry you through the first night. If you've got friends in the area, go out with them or bring them back to your place, because having other people in your room for a while can make it feel more lived in, can give more life to it, and then it doesn't just feel like you're sleeping in some strange room that isn't yours. My first night here, I did cry. I had a very stressful week beforehand, and it was a very stressful weekend moving in, because I was moving my cat up to this town too, and you know, it was really difficult because she didn't take very well to the place she was staying at. And so, you know, that affected me too. You know, then it's like, you know, your family or your friends, they drop you off and then they leave and you're all alone, you don't know what to do, and it eats at you, you know. So, for me, after my little bout of crying, I decided that I needed something to take my mind off things, to make me feel better. I needed to do something that was personal and interesting for me. So even though it was almost midnight, I got up, I made myself a cup of tea, and I watched Beetlejuice, because it's one of my favorite movies. And, you know, it was good to sit in my room and watch a familiar movie and laugh about something funny and just lose myself in that experience. By the time it was over, I felt fine, I was tired, I was ready to go to bed, and I was ready to face another new day of new challenges and new experiences. So, you know, do what you have to do to make it through your first night. It will be hard, but try to make it as easy on yourself as possible, whether that means, you know, doing something comfortable from home, like watching your favorite movie or listening to music, talking to a friend maybe, or, you know, it's going out and meeting new people and going to an event on campus, something that keeps you busy until you're ready to crash. You know, that's important. And if you're like me, you know, go ahead and have that cry. Have that good cry and let it all out, and then you will feel so much better in the morning. Just know that, you know, pretty much everybody who's coming in to like the dorms for the first time, all on the same day, they're all in the same situation. They're all in a new place. It's all scary. It's all new and unexpected, and they don't know quite how to deal. So, you know, you're not the only one, you're not alone. Everybody else is going through it too, and, you know, it's a good way to meet friends, to talk about, you know, what your expectations are, and, you know, what it's like being there, and it's a good opportunity for bonding with your hallmates or your roommates. Take advantage of the situation if you can, or try to push it out of your mind with any other possible comfort or event. Just know that after your first night, it gets easier, and within a week, you'll be sleeping in your crappy dorm bed as if you've been living there your whole life. Seriously.